So why menial jobs for black women? Why? That's a question I like to ask you, and I like you to ask yourself. My solution is we choose to do menial jobs. This is called brainwashing, and that's what's been going on in our society. We need to snap out of it with mental and personal development. And this book is a good example. Madam Walker again. This lady was the daughter of slaves. She had absolutely nothing. So to me, we have no excuse for us doing menial jobs. Daughter of a slave, her parents died when she was 7 years old. She got married at the age of 14. She had a child at 17. She was a washerwoman. She used to wash clothes for other races. And she snapped out of it. She wasn't educated. So if someone like that could achieve such great feats, I'd read something from her book. There are more than half of them employed. Okay, forget that part. 3 million women multiplied by 50 cents for a tin of Madam Walker's wonderful hair grower equal to 1.5 million. If 3 million women bought her product at 50 cents, she was making 1.5 million. And this wasn't adding vegetable shampoo, scalp treatment, manicures, repeat customers, or any of the other products that she had to offer. This lady was able to stop black women from doing menial jobs because she offered them a better alternative, which is go out there, provide services for people of your own race, buy and sell products that will help your people grow their hair. This is just an example. 1.5 million for just attending to 3 million. We did the statistics. How many million black people did we say existed in US? How many exist in the UK? How many exist in Africa, Caribbean? So a magazine like this asking me why menial jobs for black women. Black people hang their hopes on Pentecostal churches. The same thing I know goes on in Africa. Pentecostal churches is the way to go. Why? Because the Bible clearly said He will help those who help themselves. Are we helping ourselves? Black women say they need divine intervention in their social and economic plights. Poverty and negligence are blamed for teenage pregnancy. I was part of a group on Instagram, and this is what they talked about. Many black communities are suffering from unemployment, underemployment, and at the back end of the problem are other negative economic indicators that impact the quality of life for individuals living in these communities. Government-planned economic transformation ideas do not yield the desired results for black communities. It is time we re-evaluate some historical perspective on how black communities prosper economically. And they went on to say they bought and sold in their own community. They did not wait for approvals from other communities. They did not try to impress other communities in order to do what was lacking in their communities. And one of them suggested we start by teaching our kids these stories that helped our people in the past to achieve great things. So why menial job? Because we are seen as a consumer race. All we do is buy. We don't want to create. Because we do not see a reason to invest in ourselves. to improve our own life. And when you invest in yourself, you can gradually grow yourself to that level where you are taking control of who you are. And things like this help me to look at issues like that. When I started on my journey, this was the book that I read, Think and Grow Rich. This book does not tie itself to any race. So if you start reading and empowering yourself, you can snap out of this menial job. I once belonged to a group of black women, and all they ever wanted to do was take the money they got from their menial jobs and buy expensive luxury goods, gold, going to crazy parties where they have to dress and impress each other, and that's the only way they could see themselves as achieving. People will wear a wristwatch that cost $3,000, but you finish with that and your child comes out of university and you are expecting somebody else to employ your child. Have you thought about investing that money in creating a business that your child could get into? Have you heard of a family business where you can grow something for your own generations to come? The Jews do that. They do not employ other races. They set up their businesses and it's strictly for themselves. What is wrong with black people doing similar things? Why do we put the hope of our children on other races? We're looking for a white-collar job. We will spend $3,000 to buy a wristwatch to impress each other. This is another example of someone I absolutely respect. Tyler Perry. When he started on his journey to creating movies, the powers that be in that industry chose not to take any of his movies. And if you are in the States, you would have watched and seen the Madea series. Today, Tyler Perry is a multi-millionaire. I don't know if he's a billionaire yet, but I know he's a multi-millionaire. Creating short movies that centers within the black community. Are we still talking about menial jobs? Are we still complaining about governments not helping us? Because we have chosen not to help ourselves. That's my solution. We chose not to help ourselves. If we're looking at 80% of world population being people of ethnic background, what do you do with that amount of people? 7 billion and 80% of it people of color. We do not invest in ourselves. That's the reason. Because we have the same mental power as any other race. We do. If you didn't know that today. Invest in books and read and grow your knowledge of life. I buy things like this and I listen to them. This series, 3 of them, cost me £150. But I know the value I'm going to get out of this. This series, personal development, cost me £200. I know the value I'm going to get out of it. I did not buy myself a wristwatch that cost $3,000 or handbag that cost £1,000 or hair extensions that cost £500. So this is what is wrong with our race. We consume and consume and consume. It is time we start investing in our brains. If not for today or for ourselves, for our children's future. We do not want our children to be economically attached or strapped by any other race. Think for yourself. So the next stage is, why have we put this DVD together? I mean, I've given you so much information so far, but number one on our list was to open your mind. We want you to open your mind to the possibilities this industry offers. This is a good example of you opening your mind, because I'm going to come back to that. This is a typical hair and beauty magazine, and if you look into this, all you'll be seeing are similar hairstyle, haircut, hair color, hair design. But when you look at a magazine like this, it's one of my favorite magazines for black hair. Every design you can think of in the black hair industry, braids, weaves, extension, twist, locks, in various forms, has been clearly celebrated and showcased in this magazine. Now that shows you the opportunities we have. How many of magazines like this do exist? We want to change your mindset towards your ability to invest money and how you can make money as well, because when you invest, you get something in return. And I've talked about this over and over and over. Wherever you're investing, make sure you know what value you're going to get out of that investment. I don't encourage you to just throw money into anything. Find out what value you're going to get out of it. So when you invest in training and educating your mind, like you have done with this DVD, you're going to get value out of it. So we want you to change the way you look at things. We want to give you ideas that will help you empower your life. This is just a glimpse of what the hair industry has to offer. There are so many other things that the black community has to offer its own race. We want you to step out of the limitations of your mind and embrace and appreciate what is available in the world. Now, every one of us here on earth have same chance as the other person. That was why I asked the question, why menial jobs? I don't know anyone who would tell you, apart from people who were born into royalty, who don't have to work for it. I don't know anyone who would tell you they didn't go through any expenses, go through any troubles, go through any personal issues to get to where they are to achieve in life. And so you probably putting your issues in your front, in your forehead, and saying, this is why I cannot achieve, which is where Africa in particular takes my interest. Is because we have chosen to be in the position we're in. We can snap out of that mental block, the brainwashing, where we think we are not capable like any other person. We are, and that's what this DVD is going to try and achieve. So why do I say the black hair business enterprise? Why do I see an industry? I see an industry with so much potentials, and the things lacking in this industry are so many. We started from education. You need to be educated in what the black hair is, what can help you grow, what can help you detangle it, what can help you moisturize it. You need to understand what you're working with. You don't want to be so ignorant and come out and say to yourself, I have a black hair salon. I'm dealing with 100% black people, but I only give them the choice of putting chemicals in their hair. That's what's happening right now in the black hair industry. So we need educators on black hair. We need training schools for black hair. We need information to guide us. So these are blogs where people write about what's going on in the black hair industry. These are books. We need more books like this that really educate us to know what our black hair is. this book helped me to understand black hair. So we need more books like this. And I know I'm going to create some, but I won't be the only one trying to educate 80% of people of color in the whole world. We need videos and DVDs, this is one of them. We need more people to create more. You could be one of them. We need photography in the black hair industry. And this is one of my favorite books. When I had to go and study photography, the lady who was teaching me photography, when I said to her, I want to make black hair look beautiful, I want to show it in images so people understand what it's all about, she then recommended this book for me. It's called Photography. And what this book opened to me was just simply looking at black hairstyles in the most crystal clear images. Now we need things like this to make us appreciate black hair designs, because we don't have them. And this is where this magazine to me has achieved something. But we need more magazines like this that can glamorize what black hair is all about. Because when you go into the shops and this is all you see in various forms, you walk into the shop, W.H. Smith in the UK, so many more in the US and Africa, you see magazines that are glamorizing other race hair, and very few that are talking about black hair. And I've had discussions with some of my magazine editors and journalists, and I say to them, why do you not talk about the black hair? Why do you not glamorize them? And I hear things like, black hair is rebellious. Anyone promoting black hair is trying to prove a point. And so people who want to advertise in that magazine will not want to put their money into it because it is black hair. Why do we have to deal with things like that? I have written articles on black hair and I've passed it on to journalists and editors of magazines, and they say to me, the people who fund our magazine do not want to hear too many stories about black hair, but they would like to hear about chemical relaxers. They don't want to hear how black hair can be made to look beautiful. So it's now for you and me to look at ways we can deal with these issues. So we need photographers, we need videographers, we need black hair magazines that glamorize our story, we need models. I had a very crazy experience when I was looking for models when I set up my business some years back. And people were happy to get involved, and then last minute they turned out. Sorry, my mom is ill, sorry, my dad is ill, I've had headache and all kinds of things. But we want people to look at our hair and appreciate it. How else is anyone going to appreciate your hair if you don't see someone else who's wearing similar hair? That's where the models are needed. And we had an instance where I was looking for models. One of my friends was helping me chat with her friends to see which one of them was happy to be a model. And it was always, is it going to be Brazilian hair? Is it going to be Peruvian hair? So you do not want to wear Afro-kinky hair. You don't want to wear braids because you think you're too good for that type of hair. Whatever hair you're wearing, if you present yourself well, that hair is going to look glamorous. So we need models who will be proud of what they're wearing and present the image that will make other people want the same hair. I finish with my clients sometimes. Yes, they're my clients, and so I absolutely understand. And then I want to take an image and you go, make sure you don't put my face on Facebook. But when they call me and they say, I want to get my hair done, they say to me, oh, I want that image in your website. And my question is, how would you have seen that image on my website if nobody agreed to sit down and have their face photographed? So this is a major issue in the black community. models who are sitting out there and claiming they can't find jobs, if you think you have what it takes to be in front of a camera, find out where you can modernize or glamorize or be proud to show your face in natural black hairstyles or black hairstyles in whatever form you want to call it. Do it. This industry lacks people like you. We need specialists in natural hair salons, people who focus on taking care of the natural hair, like we do here, or stylists. You want to be able to work with your clients. I get people travel distances. They wake up 5 a.m. to travel and come to me to get their hair done because I specialize in caring for their hair. You could be the person doing that. People don't need to travel the world to come to me. You can sit in your world and advertise and say, I am based in Chicago, for instance, because we got people calling and asking questions from Los Angeles, from California, from Atlanta. Why can't you just invest and get the same knowledge as I have and be able to attend to these clients? In the UK, every stylist wants to concentrate in London. And I get people coming from Wolverhampton, coming from Southampton, coming from Birmingham, Manchester, to Southampton to get their hair done. I know this is not healthy. What is wrong with you investing and gaining skill that you can sit in your location and offer the same service? I say to people, we're dealing with millions of people. I cannot attend to millions of people. I would die because the physical pressure on me will be too much. So I want as many people as possible to gain this skill. That's why we're happy to share our knowledge. So you can have something, I can have something. We can all help each other as a race. So we need people who are retailing the products and the hair extensions. So you don't tell yourself, I went into the shop. I hear this all the time. I went into this shop because people who sell the black hair products and black hair extensions are not people of black race. That is a categorical statement from me. That's what exists today. Do you see an opportunity for you? Because you are a specialist, you can offer the skill. If you suggest and recommend a hair extension type, a product type to your clients, because you wear that hair and you know what you're talking about, would they rather buy from you or go to someone of another race? No, we would rather complain that other races have taken our business when you have not offered yourself to give this service to your clients. No matter how small you start, you could put $100 into buying the hair extension and stocking in your shop. You know what works best. That's why I say to my clients, I know the hair that will give you a lovely single plait. I know the hair that will give you good weave. I know the hair that will give you very beautiful Afro kinky. Why do you need to walk to a shop with people from other races and say, could you tell me the hair that's good for Afro kinky? I've been in shops and I've seen people do that. And then walk to the man at the counter and say, which hair is best for a burning? How is he supposed to know when you don't know? So these are opportunities for you. I had one of my students, one day she saw me, same thing I'm saying to you now, I said to them in a class, and she started stocking products for black hair, stocking extensions for black hair. And she said, Joy, you're not going to believe it. I have my business already. People would rather spend money selling Avon. I don't have any problem with Avon. People would rather spend money selling Herbalife. I did that. Out of ignorance. People would spend money selling, there's one that deals with, I can't remember some of their names. Mary Kay. And then you're going from place to place, from door to door, asking people to buy from you. But you're forgetting that people are coming to you to get their hair done, and you could be selling to them products that will detangle their hair extensions that will be fantastic for their hair. So that is a business opportunity I am opening up to you today. We need continuous development and continuous training. Our hair is a brand new industry. That's the way I like to call it. Because the times of Madam Walker, the times of Johnson & Johnson are gone. We live in a new era where people want to know what would detangle their hair. So people need products that can detangle hair, they need advice, they need support, they need guidance. We need researchers, and this is really huge. I watched that DVD, Good Hair, and a comment somebody made at the end of that DVD was, people have traveled to the moon. But one of the biggest problems that is still unsolved today is a black hair problem. What is the best product that can detangle black hair without you putting sodium hydroxide in it? Now that is the $1 trillion question. Because anyone that can find a way to detangle the afro hair without putting very harsh chemicals like sodium hydroxide into that hair, that person would have solved our problem. We want to detangle it. We haven't said we want to straighten it. We want to detangle it, such that you can put a comb through easily if you choose to do that. Or you can just fluff through it without having to have it dead. Because that's what the chemical relaxers do. They kill the hair and it breaks. It becomes brittle. So we are searching for solutions. And that's what the researchers will need to do. And I know L'Oreal, for instance, in Chicago invested $11 million to set up a lab to look into black hair. L'Oreal is a French company. That's a different race. Black hair, no, we would rather buy wristwatches of thousands of dollars. It's time we look inwards and see how we can create solutions for our own people. And by creating solutions, we are creating jobs. And if we can create jobs, our children and our children's children will not suffer. They will not be chasing applications and asking for other people to employ them and treat them in inhumane forms. I don't know how many people right now really love their job. Because even where you see black people employed by other races, it's still the same old story. I don't love my job, but I just have to keep going because I need the money to survive. When are we going to get to that level where we're not just surviving, but we're happy, we love what we do? You can fall into any of the categories I've mentioned earlier. I haven't mentioned everything because I'm not superhuman. I can only tell you what I can think of. But there are people out there who have other answers. So at the back end of all the things we've talked about, you set up a business, you have accountants. They may be black people like you. You have, what can I think of? Lawyers who can also support your business. You have lawyers, accountants. I mean, there's so many businesses or professions out there or careers that can ride along with the black hair industry or enterprise. So all I'm saying to you is find yourself, fix yourself in one of the areas we've talked about and many more. And there are jobs out there for you. You can create your own job. So as a business called World of Braiding and Extensions, what's our business vision? Now when you start up in business, the first thing you should be considering is, what vision do I have of this industry? So we're going to go further down when we talk about the business and how you can start and what you can do to help yourself. But I want you to understand what we have in mind setting up this business and what we're trying to achieve with you. So the first thing for us was to help you prosper in business with hair. So major thing for us is for you to prosper. And that's why I'm taking you through all the statistics and all this information for you to know that the black hair business enterprise is a huge industry. And you can choose to be part of it or not to be part of it. So for example, look at Sally's. I did some research on Sally's, and Sally's makes over 2.7 billion per annum. What does Sally's do? Just buy and sell. So they buy hair extensions, products, and whatever else Sally's buys and sells is buy and sell in the hair industry, accessories and things like that, and they make that amount of money. So if you gain the skills, if you gain this knowledge I'm talking about, and you start setting up something for yourself, you are going to make money out of it. It's guaranteed. It's not one of those businesses that trial and error. We mentioned a few of them. This is a business that you know the demand is there. You are there to supply it. In the UK, we have companies like Pax. Now, Pax supplies to all of Europe. Pax is another race, and Pax is just buying and selling. Same thing you can be doing, just buy and sell if you choose not to gain the skill. Other areas, when I started this industry, there's a company called Ebony Hair Online. And this company is based in Chicago. I remember going to visit Ebony Hair Online, and all they had was a tiny, tiny little office. But they had a huge warehouse. And they had everything on the internet. And you can order whatever it is you're looking for. There are other places called like Paul's Hair World in the UK as well. And then of course so many more. Sister, so many names. And they're just buying and selling. So what stops you from joining such group? What stops you from being part of it? Now I have something special offer I'm giving to people who are based in Chicago. Remember, we're coming to Chicago the 12th, the 13th, the 14th, that week. If you haven't bought to come to our theory workshop, which is what we call the business boot camp, I am offering it to you now free, because we offer this to our UK clients from time to time to educate you, to open your mind for you to know what's happening in the industry. And we are happy to offer that to you right now. What you have to do is to email us and ask for details of where we're going to be. We want you to come in there and get to know this industry. Probably will help you know and see the opportunities that lies in it. Now that was going to cost you at least $199. But I'm in a good mood and I'm happy to share this information with you. So I'm offering it to you. If you're watching this DVD and you want to know more, this is what we want you to come and listen to on the 14th and get to know more about this industry. So again, when you're in business, you have to have a mission. Why am I in this business? Now the reason it's important to have a vision and a mission is from time to time, things may not go the way you are thinking. And what will guide you is whenever you look back on your mission and your vision, you will find you probably have not achieved what you set out to achieve. So for us here, we want to empower everyone to prosper with hair. We haven't been able to achieve it completely, and that's why we're still going on. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, if I can empower the 80% of the world population to know that hair is an industry that will earn them money, I'll be the happiest person on earth. That's what we like to share with you. So our mission here is to empower you with the skill. So today we're talking theory and business, but we want you to have that skill first. And this skill will help give you that financial freedom and independence that you're looking for. And it's from that you will avoid things like these menial jobs. Because once you have a skill in your hand, which I learned when I got into business, that becomes yours. That is yours. No one can take your skill away from you. It is part of you, and it goes everywhere you go with you. You're not just buying and selling. That knowledge, that experience, that physical action, whatever it is you pick up as a skill in life, becomes you. And that's why whenever you want to buy a skill, people charge you so much money for it. World of Braiding doesn't do that. We just want you to exchange something for something. But I know so many skills. I mentioned to you some statistics that people will have to charge you so much. One of my students told me about an inquiry she made about hairdressing, and she was told for 4 months of training in hairdressing they were going to charge her £7,000. I don't charge my international braiding £7,000. So whenever people think they're going to give you a skill, they want you to pay them first, because that skill is going to be yours for life and it can never be taken away from you. So we want you to own that skill, and it's that skill that's your key to the financial freedom you're looking for. And that's what's going to take you away from menial labor. So stop the mental brainwashing that makes you think skill is for people who don't have any senses. I told my daughter once to get registered in hairdressing in her school. And what the teachers told her was, you're too good, you're too intelligent to do hairdressing. Now tell me, does money come in intelligence? Because when you have a skill and you make money for your survival, remember we discussed what business is. What has that got to do with your level of intelligence? This is the mentality we have in the black community in Africa. People think because you're a lawyer, you're more intelligent than the hairdresser. You're a doctor, you're more intelligent than the plumber. That is not the way it is. It's your ability to turn whatever it is you have into a going concern. I know of caterers and chefs who have created amazing products out of what they do. I know of hairdressers, Tony and Guy for instance, who have turned blow dryers, combs, you name it, with their brand name on it, and you are buying it. So what makes you think medicine is better than hairdressing, or being a lawyer is better than the plumber? There is no one skill that's better than the other as far as I'm concerned. And I remember when I started in this industry, same thing I got from people. But you have done so many things. Why are you, condescending so low to go and do hairdressing or hair braiding? In Africa, braiding is seen as something for that child who refused to go to school. I am with the mission to change that. The mission is to educate everyone to know that a skill is more important than academic education. I am categorically saying that today because I have achieved all of this, and I know what's more important than the other. You have a skill, you can guarantee your family food. You can guarantee yourself financial freedom. You can guarantee yourself independence. Lots of women just sit there and wait for their husbands to provide everything. You have two hands. You can support. You can create a business working from home. It doesn't matter where you start from. I started from home. So my mission is to empower you with a skill that will give you something that will bring money to you. So as part of the mission, we'll groom you into professional practitioners. Now that's what's unique about World of Braiding. We want to change you from just being having a hobby into a professional. And so this is what this theory class is all about. This is what this particular business DVD is all about, is to make you a professional practitioner. Advisors and consultants. So people come to you and they say to you, my hair is breaking. What should I use? My hair is not growing. What is the solution? my hair is dry. So these are the solutions you're gonna, and that's what's making you the consultant. With the certification you get from our training, you are going to be able to practice in so many countries of the world. So you're going to gain international recognition, and things you get out of that is you're able to get insurance, you're able to present your certificate and be part of legalized, organized bodies in hairdressing or cosmetology. And in the US, 38 states recognize Habia. In the UK, Habia is the industry standard. Habia is behind MVQs, VCTC, standards basically for hair and beauty in the UK. In Africa, in Europe, in the Caribbean, in Australia, Habia is recognized. So when you get certification from us with our Habia certification, you are recognized. That's what it means. And what that means to us is we have given you professional knowledge. We want to give you business education so you're able to turn your skill and the hobby that you may have had with the love you have for hair into a business, which is what we've talked about so far. Turn it away from just a skill. And that's what people say to me, I've been doing hairdressing for 25 years. I haven't got anywhere. I was at the point of giving up when I started watching your DVD and videos. We want to change that. We want to make you start seeing what the future can bring to you. And as we give you this knowledge and power, and we know that what they say is knowledge is power, we want you to turn this into a huge industry. We're part of you, so we want you to support us as well, and we can all grow together. And we want you to glamorize natural hair on all races and on all gender. So how do we plan on achieving our mission? We do this through education, through information, and the skills training that you will get from us whenever you learn our skills. And how do we share this? We do it through step-by-step skills demonstration in a modern classroom. So if you came to us in our center here, you're sitting here on the table, you have your training head, and we're working with you step by step. With education and information in a theory boot camp, which is what this video and DVD is all about, to give you details with tips and secrets and hints to access the help you need to get your business going forward and to cut out the mistakes that lots of people are making. Hence, they spend 25 years and it's not leading anywhere. We give you continuous professional training in various areas of the business to help you prosper and be part of this billions and trillions of dollar industry. And our promise to you is we are going to give you the skill, we're going to give you genuine education, and we'll give you honest information. And what we believe is, with the passion you have for buying this DVD and the guide we're going to give you, we guarantee you are going to have success in this industry. So what are our credentials? What have we achieved? 9 years we've been doing this. We have trained hundreds of local and international students across the world who have gone up to set amazing businesses. And there are just too many to mention. In Australia, in US, in Barbados, in Europe, Norway, South Africa, Dublin, Wales, Slovakia, and so many in the UK. We work with the councils, and so we train young people. We call them youths. Most times these are like they call it summer school. We work with the council right now, and they organize training for young people when they're on holiday, keep them away from the streets, and they gain a skill. And the last one we did for 2012 was so amazing. We had this young child talk about the things that she achieved within 4 days of 2 hours, which comes to about 8 hours. This young 20, 16-year-old, 17-year-old were able to finish their head of weave. And in training here, most times we put together 5 days to teach people, adults. But children, they were so quick, they got everything in minutes and in days, and they saw amazing look they could create with their hands. They were excited because they knew they could use this skill on their moms, on their sisters, and on their friends. We've worked with so many councils so far, and we're hoping to get into more. But our solution to you is we guarantee that whatever you come here to training, you are going to get it. The only time this will not give you any result is after we finish training you, you go home and you put your training head completely away and you don't want to practice your skill on anyone around you, and you sit there and hope it will continue to be in your hands. The thing with skills is if you don't use it, you lose it. And I get people asking me, do you guarantee you teach me how to be quick and fast? Why should I teach you how to be fast? If you go home and don't do anything with the skill, how are you going to get fast? I keep saying to people, when a child started walking from crawling and stood up and started walking, did that child run immediately? The child took time to understand where she was walking. And then with time, she started running. Same thing if you learn how to drive a car. Is it the first day you go into the car and you put in one hand and you're looking left and right and you are over the moon? No, you took your time to hold your steering and your feet is sitting in the right places, and then you drove slowly, and with time you got good at it and you carried on. So is the skill you're going to get from anywhere. If you don't go and practice it, you lose it. But what we teach you here is we will see to it that during your time with us, you achieve the reason you have paid your money to come to us. So now we're getting into the nitty-gritty, as they say. This is what the theory training is all about. This is where you then gain that knowledge that other people out there don't have. You're going to understand what hair braiding is. You're going to understand products that you need to work with natural hair, health and safety in natural hair. What is hair? What is natural hair? What is afro hair? And how does it grow, and how are we able to help our clients so they don't break the hair? But what then is causing the damage? These are some of the things we're going to deal with. And then we're going to look at how do you start the business? And how do I consult with my clients so I don't get people coming back complaining? How do I build my client's base? And how do I prosper in this industry? So these are some of the general information we're going to be touching on. The definition of hair braiding, the history and contemporary benefits of being a hair braider or natural hairstylist. Why do people want their hair to be braided? The qualities of what makes you a good braiding consultant, the benefits of being a braiding consultant, and weaving and extensions, hairstyles that you need to know about, products that you need to know about, and extensions that you need to know about. So we start by the definition. We've definitely done video on this on the YouTube. What is hair braiding? It's basically the interweaving of strands of hair to form a rope for single plaits. So you're taking strands of hair and you're wrapping them into each other. That's what interweaving means. And it's forming a rope, and that's single plaits. Interweaving of strands of hair on a predetermined track, that's cornrows. Now if you came for training, all of this will be explained to you, but it's important that you have a fair idea of what this is if you haven't decided to take on the course first and you chose to understand the industry first. And the intertwining of strands of hair, so we're taking two strands of hair and we're wrapping them over each other. That becomes what twisting is. So single plaits, cornrows, twisting, they all form what we call hair braiding. And everything else that you keep hearing about, you will be hearing about, all fall on these three major parts of braiding. So hair braiding and hair plaiting are used interchangeably. So we're recapping on the definition of what natural hair designing and adding extensions is. We said the interweaving of strands of hair to form a rope is what the single plaits is. And this is why I have the different training heads here. So look at that, that's a single plait, and these strands of hair have been interwoven inside to form what we call a rope. This is a rope, and because it's been done like this, it's called the single plait. When we interweave the strands of hair on a track, and this is what a track is, that becomes the cornrows. So we also said predetermined track. So you see a track like that, see how they're going like a zigzag format. And this predetermined being you created that track, you want it to look different. See that? Some of them are sitting straight, some of them are coming in the zigzag form. So this is what we call the cornrows. And this hair is natural hair. There's no extension to this. So first you take the natural hair and you interweave them in a strand, it forms a rope. Natural hair interweave on a predetermined track, it forms the cornrows. And then you take the natural hair again. In this case I have the afro hair. So the afro hair, look at what's happened here. We're taking strands of hair, which is 2 strands, to create what we call the 2-strand twist. Now this is twisting. We took 2 strands of hair, we call it intertwining. So they're put together to create what we call the twist. So the twisting, the rope, and the track, these 3 things make up what we call hair braiding. And it is after this hair braiding that then other things happen in the form of adding extensions to it. So we're going to go into all of that. But I wanted you to understand what natural hair industry is all about. It's about these 3 major things used to create designs. That's why it's the art of hair designing, because all of this is happening on somebody's head. While the artist is drawing on a canvas, for natural hair designers, we are creating this on somebody's head. And hair braiding and hair plaiting can be used interchangeably, which I mentioned earlier. It is a creative art and is practiced on the human head. I've said that. Creatively designing intricate designs, so this is intricate, to form a style. Now hair braiding is another way of grooming hair. So instead of a client just having hair flowing all over the place, we then come as natural hairstylists to create designs like this, so she has a style. And it's for beauty, so this is to give her beauty. It's also to groom the hair, so we don't want her hair flying all over the place. And in the process of doing things like this, because we're not messing around with the hair every day, the hair then has the freedom and the chance to grow. So hair braiding gives you a lot. You're getting beauty, you're getting style, and your hair is growing. But at the same time, it's the same as hairdressing in the form of we're grooming hair. But where this differs from hairdressing is, while we are naturally playing with your hair, hairdressing will bring the chemicals and alter, change the way the hair is. And that's where we change.